Thank you for joining us here on Marriage Uncut. My name is Letitia, and we'll be discussing things that happen within marriages and relationships that we all go through, but we'll go through them here together. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you won't miss out on upcoming episodes that come out every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so we can do this thing together. All right. Thank you guys for joining Marriage Uncut. I'm here today with a guest who has their concerns or questions or input on marriage and relationships. Welcome. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Tell us your name and where you're from.
My name is Deja Coverson, and I'm from San Bernardino, California.
California in the house. I'm from California. California in the house. I'm going to turn this up a little bit so I can hear you a little better. Okay, so why are you joining us today? Let us know. Are you married? What's going on?
I'm married. I've been married for 6 years,
Wow.
and I wanted to talk to you guys about basically keeping the peace in your marriage or
Okay.
just being aware of having that peace in your relationship. So I noticed in my relationship that we didn't have very much peace. And, now being more aware, being more knowledgeable, having more wisdom and understanding, I know why it was that way. We disagreed a lot and we just couldn't seem to get along. And I noticed that we did not have Elohim in our life. We didn't have the Father in our life. And that was the biggest issue. We weren't reading. We weren't studying to show ourselves approved.
Okay.
We were barely praying. And we certainly weren't fasting or doing the things that we should have been doing as children of Elohim.
So I take it that you are spiritual. Your spiritual walk initially at the beginning was not where it is now, and you think that that has impacted your peace in your marriage.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You can continue.
And so him and I were living an unhealthy lifestyle. We were drinking a lot. We were smoking heavily. We were doing a lot of partying instead of, reading, studying, and, just getting into the word in general.
Right.
So we noticed within each other that I had a lot of masculine energy and he had a lot of feminine energy.
Okay.
And I had a lot of masculine energy because I was acting like I wanted to be the head of household when that goes completely against scripture.
Right.
And, I was just acting like, man, I'm going to keep it 100. But
a lot of women do. A lot of women in our culture has taken that role. Some of us have had to, but some of us take it and we're not really equipped to do that. We're supposed to have an order to things, but things happen and we get out of order. But I do understand that. That is a normal occurrence in our culture.
And he had a lot of feminine energy and he was doing things and saying things that a woman would normally do. And, it ultimately made me start to question his sexuality.
Oh.
And so, that was completely negative.
Okay.
Negative thinking. I was in a negative mindset and he was, and there was really just no balance. And you can't have any peace without balance. And, the Father is going to balance you as long as you're aligned in him and doing his will.
Right.
So we started watching about 2 years ago. We started watching spiritual videos and, these brothers were speaking on the word and, what we need to do as a whole, as a nation. And so we hearkened to it. And in watching those videos, that led us to the scriptures. And so we started reading more than we ever have in our entire lives.
Okay.
And then started to gain an understanding of the world, like what reality really is. And, the lies that we've been brought up on, in school, and, the government, and, all the wickedness going on. So in learning all of that, we began to change our bad habits. We stopped the partying, the drinking, the smoking,
Okay.
and, the Most High just completely delivered us out of that.
Okay.
And I'm thankful for him for that. And
Yeah.
he began to guide our footsteps, and that's basically where we are now in
Okay.
our journey. He's guiding us, and we're both more spiritually inclined with him.
Okay.
But without him, we didn't have any peace. So I think it's extremely important for other relationships to let Elohim be their foundation. Come to him, let him be the head over your entire marriage, because without him, you will not be balanced. You won't have any peace. Um, and it will just lead to a lot of negativity in your relationship. Problems won't be resolved, and there will be lots of communication breakdowns, and there will be lots of arguing. So I think it's best to keep Elohim first when you are having issues in your relationship.
Yeah. So can I ask, how did you start to release some of that masculine energy so you can recapture and re-embrace your femininity as a woman and as your role in your
Mhm.
spiritual walk? How have you started that, or how have you done that if you have started it?
So I started out by basically just letting him take control of certain things that were going on in the household, like the finances, and him being the sole provider. And I allowed him to make the decisions that he felt were best for our household, instead of me just saying, okay, no, this is what we need to do, instead of even listening to his perspective or his opinion on whatever the matter was.
Right.
So then I stopped wearing pants. There's a saying that goes, who wears the pants in the relationship? And we were both wearing the pants in the
Hold on a second. You've muted your microphone. You have to unmute it. I see the line across. There you go. All right. You can repeat that last thing.
personally noticed that, when I stopped wearing the pants in the relationship, just like that saying goes, um,
Literally,
I
literally
started to,
and figuratively.
yes, literally and figuratively.
Right.
That's when I started to become more feminine. I started back wearing the dresses and wearing the skirts. And, I used to wear a lot of heavy makeup, and I stopped doing that because I felt like I was putting on a mask. And I felt like, when you're putting on a mask, usually people do that to deceive someone.
Yeah.
So I felt like the makeup was, deceitful. So I stopped wearing that, and I embraced my natural face, my
And
natural
you are
look.
beautiful.
And,
The natural look is
and
very
that,
beautiful.
and yeah, and that was a part of, my femininity journey. I mean,
Okay.
journey, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can appreciate that. And I hope the ladies that are listening, if they want to make any type of change and embrace their femininity, they may be able to take on some of your advice on what you've done to transition from that masculine, take charge, run the household type thing into
Mm-hmm.
a more feminine and peaceful um, demeanor. Because actually, if you're going to walk in spirituality, and that's going to be the forefront of a marriage, depending if you're in the world or not. If you're in the world, then that's not your priority. But if you are a spiritual person, a spiritual being, and you want to be in order, your marriage should be in order to be peaceful. I think, just like I discussed on one of the other episodes, you have to be in your role, because your role is designed for your biological sex. And so it, when you walk in it, you'll walk in more peace and happiness and joy and all of that, because you were doing what you were designated and designed to do. It's
Right.
not to say men can't be nurturers and lovers of the home and different things that women do. It's just the fact that we innately get it, biologically, naturally, women get it. Men just sometimes they can pick up on habits that are helpful, help with the cleaning and all that good stuff. But innately,
Hmm.
we are the homemakers and we are the nurturers, and we help elevate the husband and elevate the children, and keep the household together, because ultimately we affect the future. We birth the future and we affect the future you know so men have their roles, and they should walk in those roles and live in those roles, and women have their roles. It's actually empowering to be in your role when you're not trying to be the other sex and trying to be the other role. um,
Yeah.
I can't speak on the world on what they do with their mindset because I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. So I can only speak on
Right.
a spiritual level, that if you walk in your role as a woman, your femininity, the energy that you give off when you are in your correct role, I think that you will align better in a marriage.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
Most definitely. And, you learn more about that femininity within the scriptures. So I just encourage all the ladies to start reading more about the Proverbs 31 woman, and you'll learn more about your role as a woman.
right. I agree. I agree. Well, I appreciate your input, and I pray your success. If you have any issues or problems within your marriage, I pray that you guys are able to talk those things out. Or, if you're separated, you separate for a time and you work on yourselves individually and go to the Father and let
Mhm.
Him counsel you, and then you come back together as a renewed person and being, so you can do that together. You can walk on the same path together, because He can change things. He can do all things.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, so trusting in Him instead of ourselves, things will be how He designed them to be, because all things work together for good for those who love the Father. So if you love Him
Mhm.
and you keep His commandments, because He said, if you love me, then you keep my commandments. There's just a whole lot of words that go together. We can
Exactly.
quote the Bible all day long, and it is, I love it, and it definitely inspires me to move forward, and I see that it's inspired you to move forward, and I hope that it inspires our viewers to move forward. But
Yeah,
again,
me too.
I appreciate you joining us today and sharing that with us.
No problem. I was happy to be here.
Thank you, Deja from California, everyone. So if you have any
Thank you.
questions or concerns or any input you would like to join our show and our panel and let us know what you're going through, that would be great. We would appreciate your input. Thank you for joining Marriage Uncut this week. Make sure to tune in Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every week, and we can share and do this thing together.